choose PokerStars as your poker client, this is how you should configure it. There are some important options which I will show you that you need to configure before you start playing. So this is a very important one. Preferred seat. You choose 9 seated players and you check your position. This is my favorite position. And this is a very important option because in the future maybe you will need software to adapt to your game style and to improve your game style, and that kind of software will require you to have a preferred seat. So just get used to it as soon as you start playing. But right now on this tutorial I will only give you software and websites you can use for free. So I'm only telling you this information for maybe the future when you start making some monies and you are ready to buy some software and you are already used to be on the same seat. The next option is auto buy-in. So for auto buy-in you check this option here, you put 100 big blinds. So if you go to micro stakes 1, 2 and L, you will automatically, when you click your seat, you will automatically get $2. And if you want to try some other kind of games, which me personally, I don't try this kind of games, but you can just configure it, just to be sure that in the future it's everything settled. You just use the maximum amount possible, like so. Right. The next option is auto rebuy. This will save you a lot of time, especially if you are multi-tabling. Like every time you lose money from your stack, it will auto refill it, which is very handy, so you don't lose time doing it. So I check if I fall under my initial buy-in amount, and I get my initial buy-in amount again. Cool. Also, I uncheck the sound. Usually it comes checked because it's very annoying when you play a lot of tables. This is a very important option, by the way, guys. Save my end history and put as many days as you can with certain kind of software like Olden Manager if you use it on the future, and this will be very handy. Like saving your hands is one of the most strong things you can do to know information about your opponent and to know information about your development. The next option you need is on advanced multi-table options. If you are playing with my method, I usually play with stacked tables, so if you are using stacked tables, you need to pop up table whenever user action is required. If you have tile tables, like if all your tables are spread around your screen, you don't need this option here. You can uncheck it. So you have all the options you need from PokerStars, and the other thing you need to know is a very cool hotkey, Ctrl+9. If you click Ctrl+9, it will distribute the tables around your screen in the best way possible. So taking advantage of the amount of space possible. With my method, I personally use stack tables. I use Ctrl+8. I will talk about it later. So 2 more things you need to do. The first one is going on view. You go on table themes and you will choose the no images theme. This is very important. Having no images makes you remember your opponent by the name and by the notes you set on them, and not by the image, because later on they might change the image. That can cause confusion. Also, some software like Table Ninja, if in the future you plan to use it, require certain kind of themes, and this is probably the best one. It never bugs on this kind of theme. The other thing you need to do, guys, is to check filters, and your filters should be looking something similar to my filters. So you only check 9 seated player table, the minimum and maximum stakes of 1-2. I've also unchecked fast tables right here, because I'm playing too many tables, and if I would play some fast tables mixed with my normal tables, it would require my actions per minute to go up a lot, which would translate on a lot of stress and doing more actions than I'm used to, and which would also change my game style, probably in a bad way. But if you are just starting, like playing 1 or 2 or maybe 5 tables, you can probably check fast tables, so you don't need to wait so much time for good hands. I also check minimum players seated, 4. The more players you have in a table, the better. You can even raise this a little bit more, like 6 or like, I don't know, 7 or even 8. So you only sit on the best tables. Minimum players per flop. This means the amount of possible fish on each table. So the bigger this value is, the better the table is. So I advise you to go to the maximum and then decrease it a little bit by a little bit till you find tables. So you'll get the best tables. And then to trust this information here, you will need to check this one here, because if the table is just it was open just now, it's a fresh table, it will give you wrong information, because if a table gets like 1 or 2 hands on it, and if eventually the players in that table go all in, it will give you crazy numbers which you cannot rely on unless you check this one here. Minimum hands per hour. The maximum, the better. You can do the same exercise as I did before. Just decrease it as you don't have more tables to pick. Cool. Right. So now that you are ready to go on PokerStars, I'll give you some additional information for you to become a winning player easily. So the website I'm going to give you is pokertableratings.com and pokerprolabs.com. There's a mistake there. Right. These two websites will let you know information about your opponent, and it's for free. You can register for free and you will get 10 searches per day. I only have 8 remaining because I did 2 today. And here on Poker Pro Labs, I only use it to know if my opponent is good on tournaments, is doing good on tournaments. So this one is specific for tournaments. This one is better for ring games. Up next, guys, on my next video. Thank you for being following so far.